Yeah, hi everyone. I'm happy that you're here today with us in this panel. So let me introduce a bit more our panelists. Sophia is a fractional CMO for Web3 startups and head of marketing and Inc4, a blockchain development company that focuses on custom development solutions. Olena is a Web3 marketing expert who served as the head of digital marketing at Fuel Arts, at art and tech investment platform. And also she managed content and strategic partnerships with Christie's Education and Forbes Web3 and organized events at Art Basel in Miami. Damian, he is co-founder and Properly Studio, a design studio for Web3 fintech projects and head of visual design at Angel Block. And he collaborated with QuantStop, Index, Ramp, MakerDAO, Aleph Zero, and he created this beautiful branding for ETHWarsaw. So welcome these beautiful panelists. Yeah, and we are starting. So the first question is about branding. Like, what is branding? Because many people perceive it in different way, and so we want to discuss actually what is brand and what is branding. So Olena, maybe this question to you.
Thank you so much. So let's start with brands. And I would say that brand in Web3 differs a lot from brand in Web2, but not a lot, right? I have a background in traditional art world, and then I switched to digital. And right now I can see how traditional art world was a source of inspiration for digital one. For example, CryptoPunks did an artistic residence with Nina Chanel Abney, which is a normal traditional art world practice. So when we are talking about brand in Web3, we can say it differs a lot from brands in Web2. But there are still a lot of practices that we can take from Web2 and implement in Web3 in an amazing and really nice way. And so I would say that brand in Web3 should be always transparent, right? Because we joined the space for different reasons, but one of them is decentralization. We want to give our community a sense of an idea that they can control the governance, control how the company uses their finances. So transparency is quite crucial. I would say this effect of FOMO is also crucial for every brand in Web3. Because I've been working and I've been closing down a lot of mints. And when you're closing a mint in Web3, you always have to limit your time. Your mint cannot go for weeks or even days. Your mint going on for 30 minutes of pre-sale and 30 minutes of public sale, and that's it. And I would say that like the most crucial thing for brands in Web3 would be a community. And I think we will be discussing a little bit later on how to build a community.
Yeah, so maybe Sophia wants to add something, or Damian?
It's working?
Yeah, it's a bit silent, but
it's silent. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, as you said, from this point of view, I totally agree. But from the perspective of a brand, when someone wants to create that, the brand is not only a logo, it's not only a slogan or a color scheme. It's more than like perception and emotional connection that people have with company and or a product. So it's a connection. It's a mix of tangible and intangible elements like visual identity, tone of voice, brand experience, messaging, and elements like that, which are building this into one. So from technical point of view, brand looks like that, but in Web3 we have a bit different elements like sorry, I have small cheat sheet here. I prepared before. We have decentralization and community, which is very important here. And transparency, as you mentioned, it's very important part in branding, especially in Web3, because it's connected to the community, to the trust, and yeah, that's how I feel.
Thank you. Sophia, do you want to add something?
Just like yeah, all the truth. Totally agree with the guys because the most important thing is that when we talk about branding in Web2, we think about like big mature companies, and when we talk about Web3 branding, it's about like getting your community. It's very important, and yeah, we will talk about it a little later. Like spoiler.
Yeah, thank you very much. So the next question to Damian about the core elements of brand identity, because Damian works a lot with branding and design part of branding. So what the difference between branding needs for Web3 startups and mature companies?
Okay, so starting from the beginning, as I mentioned before, there's a couple of core elements which are saying that it's branding. So we have these brand values. We have the logo. It's obvious. We have tone of voice. We have this visual identity, brand experience, but also we have a couple of different elements which differs. But relating to the second part of the question, what's the difference between Web3 startups and major companies? They differs a lot, I think, because Web3 startups have more flexibility. Definitely at the beginning, they can experiment more because they start something new. They are definitely community driven because they need to create a community from scratch, which is very important as well. But the major companies needs to focus on something different because they already have community. So they have to focus on cohesion and consistency in their branding. They need to do their moves really carefully if they want to change anything, because they cannot lose the trust of community. So if they will do something really bad, it will affect the community. So
yeah, for sure. Thank you very much. Let's discuss the main goals and features of building brands in Web3. So you, at the beginning, you mentioned a bit about this. So maybe you can give more examples of companies that have solid brands in Web3.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so I would start that, as I see, the main principles when you're building a brand in Web3 is insensitive, right? I know not all of us know English that well to understand this word, but insensitive, you can see it in Web2 marketing. It's when you go to any shop and they're giving you out a discount, a tester, a sample, something for free, something that you would enjoy. And insensitive is also crucial in Web3. But from my experience, a lot of brands in Web3, they tend to give away something bad, like something I really don't need. I really don't need a 20% discount on a company that I don't even want to use. So from my experience, when you're creating an insensitive campaign, you're giving something away, please like see yourself as your customer and think what you would like to own. You would like to own an NFT, maybe a physical code wallet, or maybe something else, right? So insensitive is important. And I would say that insensitives are quite regular for a lot of well-known brands. I know that Bayak is quite low right now in their prices, but what they did, they had a lot of nice insensitives. They had this sense of physical community. So if you have this NFT, you would be invited to exclusive events that you would enjoy. You would receive free of charge merchandise. So this is a nice idea of brand. And I would be still standing by if you're like a digital art company, you definitely need a membership, right? Tate Modern Museum has memberships. It's physical memberships for Web2 art lovers, but every good brand has a membership, and I've been partnering with Forbes Web3 when they were launching Forbes Mint Pass, which is basically also a membership. And it gives you a lot of benefits. One of the best benefits I've seen from Forbes Web3 was that you as a holder would be printed in a physical edition of Forbes. which is insane, right? I think it's a dream of a lot of people to have their name out on the physical edition of Forbes. So I would say, yeah, those are my examples. And I would say just think what you would like to receive as a user and then propose it to your customer.
Thank you. Sophia, maybe you can add.
Yeah, just a little bit. I see the great value for brands, for branding is when Web3 startups take the best from like Web2 startups or maybe like any Web2 company and make this like the sense of brand alignment. So when everything in your branding actually depicts your goal, your values, like everything is aligned. So basically, if you're doing some very specific financial services, then you have some I don't know. So you look like mature big company. You're not adding duckies. So you really bring what you want to bring to your customers, users, and like it's brand alignment in what you're talking about. And like I can say that not a very good example of branding is like a rebranding. Have anyone see the Sky company, Sky Money? So yeah, they were guys were DAO maker, and everyone knew, and now it's a Sky, and everyone is confused. It's not very good. So basically, the marketers didn't done their job well. So basically, yeah, and the Sky doesn't depict what they're doing actually. So yeah, they are doing the great thing. So they are doing the crypto-based currency, and it's nobody wants to call it a stable coin, but it's like a stable coin. But yeah, so what is Sky? Sky is we don't understand what is it about, and it's not very good for branding. It's not aligned with what they're doing.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you very much. So the next question will be about hype and value. So in Web3, it's difficult to find this best proportion between hype and value, but can they work together in general? And how the project can be visible and hyped without losing value and their focus, as you mentioned previously. Yeah, so maybe Damian can share.
Okay, so that's a tricky one because I think that they can work together, but it depends on what you are doing. So maybe I would take hype project as an example. Maybe you know the kind of 3D monkeys NFT, how they created the hype around their project. So they gathered people into the Discord because the whole collection was whitelisted, and they were giving people possibility to buy something. So they took the direction to, not allow people to only mint their NFTs. They had to do something to get the NFT. So it was creation of huge community, because before minting they raised around 80,000 people in Discord, which were talking together, building community basically. So yeah, they released the collection, and the hype was around that for like, I don't know, a couple of months. But we know what happened to NFT market, and the community disappeared basically. So a lot of people were just there still for having option to mint that, because there was a lot of hype around that, but they didn't give any value to people what will happen after. So I think everyone who wants to create something, it doesn't matter, it's an NFT collection, branding around that, or just a company which is doing something different, you need to give people value, because without that, they are not feeling that they are part of this.
Sorry, I completely forgot your question. Please repeat it. How to find the balance between hype and value?
Okay, sounds great. Actually, I would take it from a little bit like different perspective. For I think 2 months, we've been writing a content on Twitter. It was exhausting. It didn't perform that well. We had to like spend money on targets, on influencers. And what we understand is that you can get a subscription for $10 a month to see what's trending in your target audience at this particular moment. So I don't know, like right now it's trending that CES thinks that art and digital art is a security and everyone is super overwhelmed. And so the idea is that you see what's trending and you're writing your content day in day to match this trending theme. And it's kind of like, in a way, hype and trends that you are using this wave to go on. And this is an example of Beeple. I know that everyone heard of this like amazing sale, which happened like, I think like 3 years ago. So he was creating artworks for 5,000 days every day, even on the day of his wedding, on the day of his birthday. If you go right now to Beeple profile on X, you would see that he's using, he's still creating an artworks every day. On his website, you can check every particular date you want to see, and you can see what he's driving, like what he's creating. Every day, Beeple doesn't create random artwork, right? He's not doing unicorns today. What he's doing, he's actually looking at the news that are trending. There is something happening in USA, for example, or something is happening in this space, and he actually like creates an artwork about it. So he's using a trend and use a hype to create an artwork every day. And I would say this would be a good example of using something trendy for your particular benefit.
Thank you. Okay, so do you agree that money can buy a strong brand?
I will start. Yes and no. So basically, if you're a big brand like FMCG, like in some very competitive field like FMCG, yeah, you need lots of money to get your brand visible, and like you have to buy ads on TV, you have to buy outdoor ads. So like you're forced to do that because it's the market tells you so. It's not like your wants. But also lots of good brands, and especially personal brands, they could be done without lots of money. So basically, like the brand of Italian vegetarian, basically. So he's just very cool guy. He's
No,
no.
no. The agency worked a lot about his personal brand, actually. Yeah, so
But when he started, like, okay. Yeah, you need big money. That's it.
I think that it can help, but it won't build the brand because, as I mentioned before, brand is something different. So it can help to, get the adverts, I don't know, social media things, buy some other stuff, but without like some unique selling points, building trust and all that elements around that. Money won't give you anything more than just having money, but you can easily burn that and do not create anything valuable. So it can help, but it's not the main point.
what else is needed to build a strong brand?
As I said, unique selling point I think is very important. Depends on what you are creating, of course, but you need to have quality. So, for example, if you have product, you need to have I don't know, good user experience, something what attract people to join your product. So you need to build trust, you need to build community. So without these elements, money is just the money.
Thank you. So what the difference? You wanted to add?
I was just curious, can anyone in an audience who thinks that you actually need a lot of money to build a good brand raise a hand? Just if it is a yes. Okay. Okay, we have 2 people here. That's it. So everyone else thinks that you don't need a lot of money to. Okay. Okay, I see. I agree with the majority. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
So what the difference between the audience and community? Like target audience, it's like typical term from marketing, but in Web3 we say about community. So what the difference between these groups of people?
So let me start. The main difference is that the target audience is those who you want to engage to your product, and the community is people who are engaged in your product. So basically, target audience is that you're like, striving for, and you think that those people will be your clients, and the community is already your users, clients. Maybe they're just having fun in chats, but yeah, they support you already. And for Web3, it's like the main point. I think like the main purpose of any project is to get lots of people into the community, because the community drives every Web3 project.
Thank you. Do you want to add something? No? Okay. So can you share the examples of good communities in Web3 that you know or maybe you participate in?
Yeah, thank you. I really enjoy this question. I have actually plenty of examples, but I would start with my particular use case. I'm host of weekly webinars, so it means that every week I have someone that I will be interviewing online, and this show is called the Amakase Show. You can Google it. And basically, we have a community. It's a tiny community. We have 2,000 people, but we've been building out those 2,000 people ourselves. And what we did, we basically had, I don't know, like regular benefits where you just talk to people. They are telling you about their new artworks. You're just connecting them in between each other. We do a lot of open calls for this chance for them to be showcased at our show. So this is my particular use case. You just bring out educational content and you build this audience and this community around it. Another way of like good communities and strong communities that I appreciate is actually Tezos. I will be organizing an event in London in October in partnership with Tezos blockchain. So if you're in London, just come to me after this panel and I will send you an invite. And I think Tezos has a nice community because it's art-oriented blockchain, and this is what they do, right? They are not creating hype around their token because they don't need to. This blockchain is there to sell art, and this is what they are doing. That's why they have an amazing artist supporting them from the beginning to the end. And I would say also really engaged community is Pizza Ninjas, if you know this NFT collection. Actually not NFT, it's ordinals. It's Bitcoin collection. And they're quite nice because they have super easy brand identity, like all the people who love pizza, like be our collector. And I think everyone loves pizza and things like that, right? And they have a nice incentive. They have amazing real life events, amazing merch. And basically, it depends. But if there is a conference happening, they are making a pizza event there. So yeah, but there are a lot of ways to engage your community, and there are far more brands that have an amazing community.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to add a little bit, and I want to give a little bit of kudos to the NEAR community, actually. I've been engaged in NEAR community for 2 years, and they really do a very good job with their community, and the community is super loyal. So I don't know why, because like lots of projects, they crash, they leave, but still lots of those who are like advocate for NEAR, they are there, and it's very cool to be to see these guys that are super loyal, even like when near crashed from like 18 to 2, I think, dollars. So basically, and they were like, yeah, they were sad, but they were like, but we believe. They really believe, and that's very cool when big ecosystems, they have so much supporters and they are so loyal.
But something weird is happening now in their X account. So maybe you saw, yes, some hackathon Nord, yes. So something's happening, but yeah. Okay, so let's talk about personal brand, because in Web3 is vital. And what can you recommend to founders, to builders, and to everyone to build personal brand? How to sell the product with personal brand? Damian, maybe you can share your experience.
Not as specialist at personal branding, because I feel that it requires some additional work. So I don't have any specific examples in that case. I just have a couple of observations. So it definitely what could help to build strong personal brand, to be true to the game, to not fake anything, to be loyal to the people, have nice communication, to be natural. So that's from my perspective, that's something what convinced me when I look at some people, but nothing very special instead of that.
I actually love this question too. My background, I'm not a gamer, right? So I was struggling with Discord. I'm from Ukraine. Twitter is not a popular app in Ukraine, right? So I had to figure it out. I had to, it is becoming popular, right? It's a nice platform. But in general, yeah, I had 0 subscribers, 0 knowledge. What is quote? What is retweet? I had no idea. And so I was building it quite like from a scratch. What I found useful is that basically you pick 5 creators that you enjoy, right? 5 creators that are in your target audience, and you just follow them. You turn on notifications every time they post something. You're there, like quoting or commenting, liking, reposting, whatever. Because this would help other people drive into your account. Another idea is that you follow the creators that you really enjoy on X, and you are starting to follow his frequency. For example, the person posts 3 times a day. You do the same. And this would be like super practical tip that would help you drive some people to your X. Another idea that I actually enjoy, this space is about communities. So organized Twitter spaces. I don't know, like, you know me, I know you, you invite some people you know, and you create a Twitter space. You might have like 1 listener, but it's already good. Like, it's good enough to have 1 listener on your Twitter spaces. Another thing is that educational content is key. Right now there is a trend way on smart advertising, because like last decade we were advertising product like, okay, buy my water with lemon because this water is nice, and it's like, it's straightforward, nobody wants it. Give a try of this water to people, and then people might want to purchase it. Right, so what I'm talking about is when you're building a brand on Twitter, try to post down a lot of educational content free of charge. You may put some CTA, click to action, at the end of your thread, and you may not. So just try to be purposeful, try to be useful for somebody out there. And I think those would be like my main tips to build some audience on X. Of course, you can go in a cheaty way, you can buy audience, but if you are talking organic things, it would pay you much more than a bot audience, for sure.
Thank you. Yeah, we know. So maybe Sophia can add something and we are finishing.
Just, yeah, one more thought is that, like in adding to the previous speaker, that buying followers won't give you nothing. So basically, you're building your personal brand not for these purposes. You build your personal brand for some other purposes. So basically, like, I don't know, for better fundraising, some networking, doing some. So yeah, buying followers won't make sense because those guys won't give you money on fundraising. That's it.
Yeah, totally agree. So thank you very much for this conversation, and I think we have time for one or two questions, and that's all. Yeah. So if somebody wants, yeah, please.
Hey guys, what are some of your favorite rebrands you've seen in crypto?
Rebrands.
Okay, let me think about it. Oh wow. Okay. There is Word of Women community, if you ever heard of them. And basically, this is an ecosystem. They have an NFT collection, and they support female creators, female founders, etc. And I think a few months ago, they kind of created a tiny rebranding. They never implemented a blockchain. They never had a preferred blockchain. But right now they are integrated by Tether blockchain, which is a little bit weird, right? Because they are not set artsy to integrate Tethers. But I think if we are talking about like rebranding, as I know it in Web2, from the top of my head, I have nothing in my mind. I don't want to lie, like I can come up with something, but I won't.
That's always tricky one to remember a lot of brands, but I think the biggest impression on me was how Aave did that, and how they created the entire bunch of products combined into one, and how they divide up, because it was really smart how they created. So from my perspective, it's Aave.
Hi, could you suggest any key points to building some binding effect our brand to good memories? For instance, when we think about Coca-Cola, we think about Christmas. When we think about Red Bull, we think about adrenaline, about extreme sports. How we can achieve that in Web3?
Yeah, good question. So, do you have an answer?
Yeah, key points. I think be extreme, right? If you're like your example is Coca-Cola, they have a truck, they have an advertisement going on with a Santa Claus going on a truck, they have physical pop-ups with Santa Claus. If you're talking about Red Bull, almost every capital in Europe had a Red Bull show where people were creating like weird flying objects and just like running down the cliff with them. So yeah, I would say be extreme. If you're, I don't know, a brand with a monkey, give bananas on your physical meetups. Like, be extreme. Like, don't. The thing is, you can be funny. You can look a little bit stupid, but the main goal is that you are memorable. You are not just another brand with a tote and black and white logo, right? Be something more. Be dumb, be funny, but be memorable.
So thanks a lot for our panelists, for you, dear audience. Yeah, so I think that we are finishing now, and yeah, so thanks a lot to everyone.